Your next comedian coming to the stage runs a production company out of Bremerton called Comedy and Kitsap. He does shows at the Roxy Theater. He is my very good friend. He is the very funny Joseph Rogers, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Keenan. All right. Fuck yes. All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Joseph Rogers. Yeah, thank you. I'm known in Bremerton as the guy that looks like Jesus telling dick jokes. So, you guys are in for a treat today. I did just celebrate my 6-year anniversary, everybody. Yeah, thank you. Of being unemployed. Oh, you guys are way more supportive than my parents. Shit. Anybody looking for a roommate? Oh, it's getting real quiet in here. Where did that support go? You guys are great. No, I did think about looking for a job today, though. You know what I did? I fixed that problem. I smoked a bowl instead. Yeah. It's amazing what a bowl will do to fix your problems looking for a job. I called my dad for advice one day. I was like, Dad, I'm looking for a job. What's the best advice you can give me? He said, well, Joe, dress for the job you want. I was like, okay. So I did. Fuck, I didn't know you had to apply, too. Weird advice. But it's funny when you've been broke this long, right? Because 6 years is a long time to be unemployed. And when you've been broke that long, it changes you, right? It changes you. Like, for example, I went to a friend's house who was having a party. And normally, when I'm having a job and I have money, I bring the booze, I bring the girls, I bring the drugs, I bring the party itself, right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I've been to your party, haven't I? Yeah. But when you're unemployed, you just show up to the party, you're looking for booze, you're looking for drugs, and you're hungry. But here's how I know it changes you, right? Because I was eating with them, and I asked them to pass me a paper towel, and I got way too excited they had full square paper towels. You know what I'm talking about? I was like, damn, full square paper towels? You guys are balling, shit. I still ripped that shit in half, though. Because when you're broke, you know you can wash your face and your table with a half a paper towel, all right? You guys know what I do with that other half a paper towel? Anybody? I fucking took that shit home. Yeah, saved it for later. I've been broke so long that I can tell the difference between a dime and a penny hitting the ground. I'm serious, man, because when you hear a penny hit the ground, you're like, oh, fuck it, that's just a penny. But when you hear a dime hit the ground, you're like, fuck, that's 10 pennies in one. I'm picking that shit up. I heard some change drop the other day, and immediately I was like, damn, that was 37 cents. And my friend, he wanted to go count the change. He didn't believe me. He counted it, and he goes, Joe, actually it was 42 cents. I was like, check again, there was a Canadian nickel in there. That shit don't count. Yeah. And my friend was so impressed. He's like, dang, Joe, how do you know the sound change makes so well? I'm like, well, first of all, I've been using a Coinstar my entire life, okay? I know the sound change makes, motherfucker. But here's the thing about being broke, right? This is how I know I'm way more broke than anybody here, okay? Let's hear a round of applause by everybody that knows what it means to float a check. Yeah. You guys know what it means? The older crowd, younger crowd's like, what are checks? For the younger crowd, to float a check, it means you don't have the money in your account to write the check, but you write the check on a Friday evening at the store. You have until about Tuesday to get the money in there before the check clears. Float a check, right? Sometimes you get desperate, right? But this is how I know I'm more broke than anybody here. I took it to a whole nother level. You know what I did? I floated myself a check. Yeah. Wrote a check in my name for $200, deposited it in the ATM on a Friday night, pulled out that $200. Now here's the thing, people, you can't be all willy-nilly with that $200, right? Because it's going to come back Tuesday and hit you. You can't get blowing hookers like you want to. So you know what I did with that $200? I made an investment. I bought an ounce of weed. Yeah. turn that shit over by Tuesday into $240, put the $200 back in my account. Bitch, I just made $40 writing myself a check. What do you know about that? Hell yeah. And sometimes, like, you don't have all the weed sold to get the $200 to clear, right? So you start getting real desperate, and you're hitting up your friends. You're like, hey, man, buy this dime bag off me and I'll suck your dick. Okay, that didn't really happen, but it might have crossed my mind a couple times. Because that $35 fee, if you don't get that check in time, that shit hurts. You know, some of you know that $35 fee, that shit hurts. But, I don't know, man. I think smoking weed's good. Luckily, you know, I'm good at it, I guess you could say. I'm good at smoking weed. But here's one thing, though. Am I the only one that thought speed dating was a coke party? I'm serious, man. I showed up with all kinds of speed to this thing, man. I was ready to go. When I found out it wasn't a coke party, I went back to my car and smoked a bowl, got my mind right, went and sat back down. There was a gal sitting at the table across from me. She goes, Joe, you have one question. Go. I was like, oh shit, one question? Okay. Tell me what you think about quantum mechanics, string theory, and human consciousness on Earth. Go. She's like, what? I'm like, never mind. Can I comb in your hair? Let's just get this over with, I guess. So that's good. That's half of you laughed at that joke. That was a tester to see which direction I go from here on out. So you guys were laughing at some dirty jokes earlier, though, so that's good. I was worried you guys weren't going to be down for the dirty stuff. Yeah. Also, too, life hack people, I found this out. It is not a good thing to be the best looking couple at a swinger party. Yeah, my ex-wife and I, we decided to try to salvage our fucked up marriage, right? So she's like, well, maybe we should try a swinger party. And I was like, sure. Here's the first red flag. It was in Belfair. Yeah. The second red flag was that my wife dyed her hair red right before the swinger party. But it wasn't like red, like ginger red. It was like Pizza Hut red. You know what I'm talking about? Like, red flag red. I'm sorry, lady. You're giving me flashbacks. I'm sorry. I'm struggling with this right now. I'm not saying you're crazy, but chances are you're probably crazy. But you know what? There's a good thing about being crazy. That means you're good in bed. I mean, that's just... Everybody knows that, right? That's the crazier you are, the better you are. Hillary Clinton, boring. Get the fuck out of here. I'm assuming, sorry. No, but here's the thing, right? We get to the swinger party, right? And I look around and she's like still down. And I'm like, what? She's like, what's wrong with you, Joe? Why don't you relax? I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think I would fuck any of these people even if I was rolling on 10 ecstasies right now. And I'm pretty sure I saw that chick working a Jack in the Box. And that guy over there is missing a limb and he looks like Wilford Brimley. Because here's the thing, people. If you go to a swinger party, it's only fair that if I bring all my limbs, you bring all your limbs too, right? Fuck. I got out of there. I think Reese's dad there, he looked like a fucking horse. It was weird. Bad time. But I will say, I do have a girlfriend now, and actually we've been together for 16 years next weekend. Yeah, thank you very much. That is worth celebrating, I'll tell you what. I see some couples in the audience, some younger couples, some older couples. I can tell the key to a happy relationship is communication, trust, security, honesty. These are important things in a relationship. But also, too, you have to change things up. Right? You got to change things up. You can't do the same shit over and over again. I fucked up the other day. I went to a friend for advice because I wanted to do something special for last year's Valentine's Day. Yeah. I went to a friend. I was like, what should I do for Valentine's Day? I want to do something special. She said, go to Jared. Look at me, people. Do I look like that I know that Jared's a jewelry store? Because turns out Jared is also the name of my drug dealer. Yeah. So when she said go to Jared, I was like, okay. What should I get her from Jared? She goes, you want to get her something flashy. I was like, oh, okay. She said, you want to get her something that when she has it, she'll be on cloud 9. I was like, okay. She's talking diamonds and shit. I'm thinking LSD, right? So for Valentine's Day, I go to Jared, get her some LSD, you know? Wake her up, make her a cup of coffee, drip some LSD in her coffee, give it to her. Make her an omelet, making her breakfast and bread, you know? And I will say this, when I was making the omelet, I didn't have to do this, but I made a tomato for a tongue, olives for eyes, cheese for a nose, and broccoli for ears. I didn't have to do that per se, but I did. I give her omelet, right? And she goes, Joe? I go, yeah? She goes, why is my omelet talking to me right now? I was like, what? What's it saying? She said, that's besides the point. I said, that's not besides the point. This could be an important message from a parallel universe. What's it saying? She said, it's not an important message from our parallel universe. I said, how do you know that? She said, because my omelet just keeps telling me I'm excellent. Thank you. That's my cleanest joke, you guys. That's my cleanest joke. Also, just so you guys know, I didn't really do that. So, people have come after the show to me before and be like, hey, it's not cool that you give someone LSD that wasn't expecting it. Like, no shit, motherfucker. Don't you know what jokes are? Jesus Christ. You came to a fucking comedy show, bro. But when you've been in a relationship that long, like, you gotta change it up, right? She got me good the other day. She said, Joe, you see that pile of dishes? I go, yeah. She goes, that's a BJ. I was like, oh shit. I got on those dishes, got them done in 20 minutes flat. Went back to her and I was like, here you go. She goes, what are you doing? Get that out of my face. I said, what? You said the dishes were a BJ? She goes, yeah, they're a big job. I was like, what? We're using acronyms now? What the fuck? What is this shit? Unbelievable. And then recently, like I said, it's good to change it up, right? She goes, we've been together for almost 16 years, Joe. I think it's about time that you changed it up with foreplay. And I'm like, yeah, she's got a point. Because apparently it's not a good thing to just be like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you so hard over and over again for 15 years. You know, she's got a point. So I remembered the BJ thing, so I was like, I'm gonna get her back. Right? I'm gonna get her back. So I go to foreplay her up a little bit. I go whisper in her ear. I go, hey, babe. She goes, yeah? I go, I'm gonna get better about cleaning up after myself. You know, just joking, right? She goes, oh, yeah? I was like, oh, damn, that worked. She's like, tell me more. I'm like, okay. I was like, also, babe, I'm sorry for how much we've been fighting lately. She goes, oh, yeah? Don't stop. And I'm like, damn, I haven't even touched you yet. And I'll tell you what, men out there, you know what happens when a woman tells you don't stop. You do not stop, okay? I don't care if you get a cramp in your leg, your back goes out, you came 30 minutes ago, you do not stop. All right? You do not stop. So I was like, damn, I'm gonna finish her off with this. And I went down in her ear and I whispered to her, and I said, also, every time we fight, I'm always wrong. Goo! I was like, holy shit! I haven't even touched her. And I was like, damn, I think you just came. She's like, hell yeah, I did. And now I'm going to sleep. And I was like, whoa. It's my turn now. She goes, fuck you, now you know how it feels. I'm like, oh, shit. Ah, that hurt. I can hear the ladies in the audience like, yeah, get that ratio right, motherfucker. Fix that shit. But here's the thing, right? I'm lucky because I've been married once, it didn't work. I do believe that the best thing to do is to never get married. Honestly, never get married. Because the reason why is when you're not married, you can leave whenever you want. Right? You can just dip and you don't have to do the paperwork and pay the fucking attorney fees and all that shit. Because I don't know how many times my ex-wife and I would get into a fight and then I'm like, I'm gonna divorce you. And she's like, go ahead. And then the next morning we wake up and have angry makeup sex and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $500 to get a divorce, so fuck it. I'll just be miserable for the next 20 years, right? But here's the key, just don't get married. You don't need to get married. You don't have to prove that you love each other by getting married. This is ridiculous, right? Keep it on edge where one of you can just dip to Mexico for no reason. That's what I'm saying. I've had enough, I'm out here. But here's the thing, right? Like, here's one thing that I should have known was a little red flaggy in my marriage, right? In our relationship, she caught me watching porn once, okay? And she goes, hey, you're not allowed to watch porn? I was like, what? Why not? She goes, because you're married to me. I was like, yeah, but you don't do any of the things that they do in the videos. And she goes, well, you either choose me or porn. And I was like, fuck. So I did what any gentleman would do. I fucking lied to that bitch, right? I'm kidding, I didn't lie to her. No, I tried. I really did try. I tried to stop watching porn, but you know what happened? I started masturbating to the thought of being single. Yeah, imagine that. You're rubbing one out to partying at fucking Jimmy D's in Gorst. You know? You're fucking rubbing one out to partying at fucking Slaughter County, Port Orchard, you know? Maybe if you get lucky, you climax while you're at Horse and Cow in Bremerton, you know? It's like, it's no fun, right? It's no fun. So don't do that. Don't tell your man he's not allowed to watch porn. That'll happen. But here's the thing, right? I did it for like 4 months. I was going crazy. I was like, I need to watch porn. I thought I found a loophole, people. Yeah, I thought I found a loophole. You know what I did? I made a video of me masturbating, and I started masturbating to that. Yeah. It's called self-porn. Yeah. I invented it. That's why you've never heard of it. As I was explaining it, she's like, oh no, I know exactly where he's going with this. That is so disgusting. And it is, it really is. But here's the fucked up thing. She caught me doing that. Yeah, she caught me jacking off to my own jack-off video. I was so embarrassed. She busted in, she's like, hey, I told you no more porn. I was like, whoa, this isn't porn, this is just me masturbating. And she didn't believe me, she had to look down in the video and she goes, what? If that's you masturbating, why are you wearing a blonde wig and lipstick? And I'm like, what? Shit, I gotta spice it up somehow, shit. Fuck. Give me a hard time with that shit. Fuck. So I got this brother who's like super Christian, like the most Christian that you can get. And he's so Christian that he's very vain about it, right? Which is weird because he contradicts himself in his religious beliefs all the time with how vain he is. Like for example, true story, this is how vain he is. He has a tattoo on the back of his shoulders that says God's gift. Yeah, that's how vain he is, right? And sometimes we'll get in religious arguments and whatnot, and we both have sons around the same age. They're about to be young men, 12, 13 years old. And recently we were arguing, and I was like, what are you gonna do if your son wants to be gay? And he's like, well, I'll probably try to talk him out of it, maybe give him some therapy. And I'm like, see, that's the problem between me and you, is I can't do that. I think that's wrong. And he looked at me and he goes, well, what would you do if your son was gay, Joe? And I was like, fuck, I don't care if my son's gay, as long as he's not vegan, you know what I'm talking about? Because I'll disown a vegan kid, okay? I'll tell you that right now. I don't want to hear about dying sea turtles in the Caribbean. I don't want to hear about how unhappy my steak was when it got killed or how many toxins are in it. I don't want to hear that shit. Get out of here, vegan kid. I knew you weren't mine. Get out of here. Shit. Earlier, someone mentioned Magic Johnson. Remember like 2016, I think it was, when we lost all those fucking celebrities like Prince, we lost David Bowie, we lost, can you guys help me with this? Name a celebrity we lost in 2016, that year that we lost. Carrie Fisher's still alive? No? Oh, that one went under the radar for me, shit. Same with Tom Petty, I just found out Tom Petty died. I'm like, what, Tom Petty died? How did that go under the radar? But 2016, we lost all these fucking celebrities, right? Is it just me, or is it every time we lose somebody good, it makes you hate Magic Johnson that much more? Like, seriously. I swear, man, if I'm on my deathbed and that motherfucker's still shooting layups, I'm gonna be pissed. I want stem cells, I want to eat stem cells and live forever, I want that. Shit. And here's the thing, right? We lost Chris Cornell. We lost fucking Chad Bennington of Linkin Park, right? Chris Cornell was tough, right? But I don't know if you guys had this experience with Chris Cornell's death, but for some reason, his music got better after he killed himself. You guys notice that? I was listening to the radio and I was like, I finally get Audio Slave now. Yeah, after he died, it was so much better. And I thought maybe it was just me, so I went and listened to some Linkin Park, and I was like, no, they still sound like shit, so. Must be a weird phenomenon, so. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you, my girlfriend doesn't like it when I push on the back of her head. Right? I mean, most women will say, yeah, that's not cool. You know? My girlfriend, she got mad at me one day, she goes, why do you like to push on the back of my head? I was like, probably because you don't like it at all. And I know that's like a real asshole thing of me to say, and I'm really sorry about it. I've gotten better. But here's the thing, right? When you smoke a lot of weed like I do, you enjoy fucking, but sometimes it can get really interesting. And also, too, when you smoke a lot of weed and you live in a beautiful area like this, fucking Pacific Northwest, you smoke weed, you go for a drive, it's easy to get caught up in the landscape of things, you know, like beautiful mountains and shit. And when you look like this, and you smoke weed, and you're going through a crosswalk, and you're staring at the mountains, and you run something over, you're in denial. Right? You look in the rearview mirror, you don't see a body flopping around, you're like, who the fuck leaves a bicycle in the middle of a crosswalk? Because I'm serious, man, I'm in denial when that shit happens, right? Because if I go to prison, I'll tell you right now, man, I'm gonna go from having 2 holes to 1 hole so fucking fast. Yeah, and the reason why is because I'd rather fucking get over the physical pain of taking in the ass than the mental trauma of giving some dude a blowjob, right? Especially if he pushes on the back of my head, because I'm like, oh no! It's all come full circle, shit! I don't want to deal with that. And then also too, like, my girlfriend, she likes it when I smoke just the right amount of weed. You guys are familiar with like what whiskey dick is, right? It's like when the ladies are laughing at that, like, yeah, we know what that is, okay? We know. And ladies like it sometimes, and it works out for men too, because if you get that right amount of whiskey and you get that whiskey dick, it's not all the way hard, it's not all the way soft, and you can last all night. That's why the ladies like it, right? But there's like a level of weed that if I smoke, it does the same thing, right? And my girlfriend calls it weed wiener. Yeah. She's like, hey Joe, why don't you give me some of that weed wiener tonight? I'm like, all right. So I get that right amount of weed, you know, right, it's right at the amount that makes you really good at playing pool, you know what I'm talking about? And so I was giving her a weed wiener one night, and here's the fucked up thing, right? When I'm that high, weird things happen. For example, there was one night I was fucking getting ready to finish, and I went to go finish, and in my head, this noise kept going off when I was finishing. You guys want to know what that noise was? It was, pyaw, pyaw, pyaw. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? And it wasn't even the Howard Dean pyaw. It was the Dave Chappelle pyaw, pyaw. You know what I'm talking about? Just kept going off in my head when I'm coming, and I'm like, that's distracting as fuck. What's going on? Why is it happening in my head? And this is the most fucked up thing, right? I'm not even a shooter. So it doesn't make any sense. Pyaw, what is that, you know? I want that. Pyaw, I want to be on the wall. I want to get up there. I want to be like, oh shit, look man, look at this one. This is good up here. I want that. But no, I'm a fucking dripper. I'm getting personal, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know you guys are trying to finish up your meal there. I'm sorry. I warned you. So it should be more like, pyaw, 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 pyaw. Pyaw, 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 pyaw. Pyaw, pyaw, pyaw. Pyaw, pyaw, pyaw. That's what it should be. And then I just have like a map of Hawaii in front of me, you know? Like, that doesn't do anybody any good, you know? Fuck. All right, I think that's my time. You guys are a great crowd. Give it up for your host, Kenny Link. He's a great fucking host. He's been putting together good shows. Look out for him on Facebook. Thank you very much, everybody. Love you. Good night.
Joseph Rogers, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of inside baseball real quick. Joseph Rogers, a great friend of mine, he runs his own shows. Sometimes when he comes to my shows, he brings his own sound, like tonight. The sound sounds great tonight, right? Like, everybody can hear it's great, right? I didn't know that motherfucker was gonna bring his own wireless microphone on stage. He came on stage with his own mic. I was like, God damn, this motherfucker. Oh my God.
I was thinking about hanging
Hey,
on to it.
no. My show. Guys, it is Thursday night. You've been a fantastic